Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain. I'm Rachel with a little bit of coffee, just a little bit left. It is decaf because we are getting to be a little later in the evening. Puppies are getting their food. I have already had mine. And we are diving into a book called City of Secrets. It is Wildsmith number 2, and it is by Liz Flanagan. And I did not realize this was book number 2 when I picked it up, but the description alone, I was like, this is going to be adorable. It is magical, it is middle grade YA fantasy with cute little creatures, and I was like, yes, please, I am sold. Give me anything cute and cuddly. I mean, look, my shirt has this cute little bunny on it. Give me anything cute and cuddly and just adorable, and I'll probably, add it to my little, humans are, we pack bond with just about anything. I will pack bond with anything that's cute. So, we are diving into this book, and let us go with the summary. Rowan starts to embrace her gifts as a magical wildsmith, who heals and speaks to animals. But saving a young Pegasus brings difficult decisions. Danger comes closer than ever, and Rowan and the Pegasus flee the forest, returning to the city she used to call home. When she was betrayed, she wonders which friends she can now trust. With her family divided and her war still raging, where does Rowan belong now? So, now the genre that I see Goodreads putting it into just says fantasy, but I definitely put this into a YA middle grade sort of age range. Definitely for kind of I wouldn't call it children's fiction, but kind of almost on that line. It does say it's only about 176 pages in paperback, and I want to say my audiobook that I had was only about 3 hours. Now, I got this book on NetGalley, just here recently, within the past week or so. So I am not certain. Oh, it looks like the audio book is the one that is releasing, June 24th of 2025, because it looks like the book itself was written April 16th of 2023. So I'll probably kind of release this somewhere in between. Sometime before maybe June 24th, just to kind of go ahead, since the book itself is already out, and it's the audiobook that's going to be available on June 24th. Personal opinion, very, very cute. I want to go get the first book and just have it, and I don't know if I want to even spend an Audible credit if the book is only going to be 2 or 3 hours long. Usually if a book is under the cost of my monthly Audible credit, then I just go ahead and buy it. So I frequently, if a book is $7.95 or $9.95, I just buy it, because my $14.95 or whatever it is Audible credit is not worth buying something that's under that, unless I'm getting a twofer. And then I'm like, okay, fine. That works for me. Now, this is so very cute. So if you like YA middle grade fantasy, I think this would be in a good vein to pick up. I do feel that I really wish I had picked up the first one, because I have found that some middle grade books aren't as complete when it comes to their individual installments. I think adult books do it a little bit better, especially when it comes to mysteries and things of that nature. Each book in the series kind of encapsulates just enough, so if you miss the first one, it's fine, because we've given you enough to know what's going on. You may miss a little bit of the background, with the characters and stuff, but for this particular book, I really wish I had gotten the first book so I could go ahead and read that one too. It is I'm sorry, Leo is sitting here looking at me like he really wants attention, so hold on just a second. Sometimes he just really wants to be, I guess, over here hanging out with me, so sorry he's behind the microphone. But he he was sitting over there kind of like he wanted some attention, so I'm going to give him some, even though I've really been spending the past 2 hours giving him a pretty good snuggle. Sometimes he just can't get enough. So, in this particular installment, Rowan has been living at her grandfather's farm with her mother. Her father has been living in their city, and he doesn't get to come back very frequently. But by this particular point, Rowan has determined or discovered that she is a wildsmith, which means she is able to kind of communicate in maybe an empathetic sort of way, or they don't really explain it very well, what being this a wildsmith is, which again I think is part of maybe book number 1. But she seems to be able to communicate with animals on a deeper level. And her grandfather is also a wildsmith. And apparently this is pretty uncommon, being a wildsmith. Well, her father shows up kind of more or less in the middle of the night with this little pegasi kind of under his coat. And it's because there's a war or such, a rebellion perhaps happening, and the pegasi are, I don't want to say being targeted, but this little guy, he couldn't get away. They couldn't find his mom, and so now we've got this little cute little gray pegasus that needs to find somewhere to go. And so the dad brings him to the grandfather's, where Rowan and her mother are. So Rowan pretty much instantly bonds with this little pegasus, and she names him Mouse. Are you okay, little buddy? I'm just trying to make sure you're comfy. Are you comfy? Do you want me to lower my arm? Sorry. I'd rather, for his comfort, I'd rather just adjust however he wants me to be. I'd rather be the uncomfortable one. But, now, I will say, I wish my ebook, or my audiobook, I wish I'd had it in an ebook so I could see some illustrations, because this one particular person, Chloe Booth Dodson, she says, stunning illustrations which are so perfectly accompany the story in its best moments, and I would have loved to see those cute little illustrations. I like picture books. I don't even have kids, but I like picture books. There's no reason not to have fun and enjoy pictures and books. There's just no reason not to. Just enjoy yourself, like yourself. There's the theming of and I guess that's why I'm not calling it a children's book, because there are references to war and fighting. Children can read those sorts of things. I think, of course, just parents need to be able to be there and explain certain topics and things should they come up. You okay? Sorry, we're pausing for the puppy. And then, of course, we do have friendships. We have animal welfare. We do have some people who do a bit of betrayal. So there are some things with things like that come up that, I mean, younger kids can read. I know when I was younger, I used to read the Dr. Seuss books, or the Bunnicula books, things of that nature. And so maybe I didn't always understand war when I was really young. Probably not until I was in middle grade, when I think it probably would make a little more sense to me. But I don't want to say just a ton. I don't want to tell you guys what happens or anything, because of course it's not a very long book. It's pretty short, pretty cute, pretty sweet. It is very cozy in my personal opinion. Again, it's middle grade, so it's low stakes. It is a girl making friends with this Pegasus, bonding, creating this sense of trust. And then they have to flee in order to kind of not only continue their adventures, but in order to kind of be protected from those that would probably seek to use them against their loved ones. Because her being a wildsmith, and of course the Pegasus, the invading army would want to use both of them in probably more harmful ways than good. But I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I know this episode is not going to be very long, and some of it is just me kind of checking in with Leo to make sure he's doing okay. But them's to break sometimes. But with all of that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.